My name's Richard Witten, and I had the great fortune of starting Columbia Entrepreneurship, Innovation, and Design, believe it or not, almost 7 years ago. And Columbia Entrepreneurship, Innovation, and Design was really started because of Bill Campbell. And I think we're going to flash his picture in a second. But Bill Campbell, Coach Campbell, was the greatest mentor I've ever met. I know I'm not alone in thinking that. Bill left his mark on everybody that he touched and hugged, even though that may not be PC these days. There's a very long list of people who would say the same. People who sat with him, listened to his advice on how to start their businesses, scale it, and grow it into their own personal vision. People like Steve Jobs, Larry Page, Jeff Bezos, Ben Horowitz, Meg Whitman. One of those people is Jolyne Caruso-FitzGerald, who's here today, and I would count myself in that very fortunate group as well. Think about that. Without Bill's mentorship, there wouldn't be Google as we know it today. Apple wouldn't be the same. Amazon wouldn't be the same. Neither would Columbia Entrepreneurship. The reason that we're here today in this room, but also as a community, is as much about Bill than about anyone else. He believed that Columbia should be and could be a world-class institution for entrepreneurship, and as in most cases, he was dead right. I had the fortune of working with Bill as a trustee of the university, and there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about reaching for the phone to ask Bill for help in a particularly complex question. Some people change the world by inventing a molecule that cures diseases or develops a new way to accumulate and parse data. And some people, like Bill, change the world by being a mentor who is generous with his time and his wisdom. We're in a very dynamic world now, where things change quickly and every day brings new ways to approach topics and solve dilemmas. But while new each idea can feel like a revolution, the fact is that we're all building things on the shoulders of people who have come before us. Very few things appear out of thin air. The same is true about leadership. The best way to learn is to engage with experienced people who can help you understand the complexities of being a founder, good choices to make, and bad things to avoid. Today, in honor of Bill Campbell and his spirit of mentorship, we celebrate 3 incredible people who are changing the world by devoting their time and energy to the revolutionary leaders of tomorrow, those of you in this room. They are coaching Columbia as Bill once did. First, please join me in recognizing Coaching Columbia honoree Jolyne Caruso-FitzGerald. Jolyne is the founder and CEO of the Alberleen Group, an investment firm providing direct investments and advisory services to family offices and privately held companies. The firm sources, structures, and co-invests alongside its investors in private direct investments across both traditional and environmental sectors. Throughout a career in finance spanning 3 decades, Jolyne has held senior roles at major investment banks, building and managing global capital markets and asset management businesses. Jolyne is a graduate of Barnard College and is the chair emerita of Barnard's Board of Trustees, having served as a trustee since 2000 and as board chair from 2010 to 2018. She served on numerous financial industry private companies and nonprofit boards, and is currently a board director of Align Impact, an impact investing advisory firm. She also serves on the fund advisory board of Golden Seeds, an angel investing group for women-owned businesses, and is an advisor to Columbia Entrepreneurship. Most importantly, Jolyne has been a mentor to many, many, many people in the Columbia and Barnard communities over her years of involvement, and can see the palpable results of her leadership and her mentorship every day. Jolyne, thank you for your stewardship in the entrepreneurship community, both at Columbia, Barnard, and beyond.
Thank you, Richard, and Columbia Entrepreneurship for this award. I also want to congratulate my fellow honorees, Bill O'Farrell and the legendary Alan Patricof. I am really thrilled to share the stage with you both. I met Bill Campbell in the spring of 1978 when I was dating my husband, Sean Fitzgerald, who played Columbia football under Coach Campbell. I watched that team game after game, win, mostly lose, work hard, laugh, and cry together. And the decade since graduation, at every single Columbia homecoming, the majority of the players who come back year after year are the one from Bill Campbell's era. Even after Bill's passing, this tightly knit group still returns to celebrate their friendship and Bill's legacy. Being a part of this has given me great insights about the power of leadership and the impact of really good coaching. Starting as a female intern on Wall Street in the late 1970s, and as I assumed leadership positions both in finance and eventually as chair of Barnard's Board of Trustees, I saw firsthand the unique challenges that women faced in many industries by not having enough strong female role models. It was during those years that I started actively mentoring and coaching younger women. The trading floor at JP Morgan, where I led the equities business in the 90s, suddenly started to look very different from every other investment bank. There were women block traders, large numbers of women managing directors being promoted every year. The whole dynamic of that business changed. It was also very profitable, and unlike Wall Street, we had a cohesive and winning team. There was no woman problem at JP Morgan because there was a woman leader. When I founded my own business, however, many years later, the stark reality of being a female founder hit me hard. Fundraising challenges, trying to build the A-plus team I had with no budget, no big name on my business card. I realized just how difficult and lonely the journey would be, and at 49 years old, how I needed some coaching and mentorship. Bill Campbell was there for me, and as I began to meet other entrepreneurs, I realized I needed to share my experiences, my hardships, and I need to give back to this community. So when my friend Richard called me to join Columbia Entrepreneurship, it took me 1 second to say yes. Over the past few years, as I've worked to build my own firm, I have made committed time to carve out, to mentor, coach, and help other founders. And through this process, I discovered Bill Campbell's secret. By helping other founders, I started to see things differently with my own business. I uncovered new approaches to solving problems. I found inspiration from successful entrepreneurs. I came to realize that by mentoring others, I have gotten so much more than I have ever given. So I challenge the founders and all the attendees here today to be a coach, no matter how tired, no matter how overworked you are, because the collective impact of our efforts will ensure that the enduring legacy of Bill Campbell will live on forever. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jolyne. That was wonderful. Our next Coaching Columbia honoree is Bill O'Farrell. Bill is a 30-year veteran of the startup world. He most recently co-founded and was CEO of Body Labs, a computer vision and AI company focused on 3D human body modeling. Body Labs was acquired by Amazon in 2017. Before that, he was the co-founder and CEO of companies such as SpeechWorks, OpenAir.com, and the Company of Science and Art, which created the After Effects product line, all of which have been acquired. Bill is an adjunct professor at Columbia Business School, where he teaches the wildly popular Launch Your Startup class. Bill received his undergraduate degree from Brown University and a JD from some unknown school in Cambridge, Harvard Law School. We're so honored, Bill, that you're here, that you've served as our mentor in residence at the Startup Lab, and for being a fantastic sounding board and guide. Thank you so much for all that you do.
Wow, this is really quite an honor, and excuse me. I actually really, I mean this, I really feel like I should be thanking all of you, the university, the trustees who had the vision to do this, the business school, the Lang Center, my colleagues. I've worked with amazing colleagues, and most of all, just the opportunity to work with so many bright, dedicated, determined entrepreneurs from the students as well as the larger Columbia community. It's really been a lot of fun. So I thank you for that. And I have to say I'm particularly pleased I've got the Bill Campbell Award because I too have a little bit of a similar background to Bill. As you know, he was a legendary football coach here, and I've had some athletic coaching in my background as well. I was a Little League baseball coach. And I had 4 boys, and I coached the league where the parents would pitch to the kids. And it turned out I had this really uncanny ability to pitch the ball exactly where their bats would cross the plate. So they always got hits, and I looked like a genius. And I was thinking about that. I mean, yesterday was opening day, and you know, I know sports analogies are a little overused sometimes, but it does feel to me like the baseball analogy is such a particularly fitting one for the entrepreneurial world because, you know, you're standing up there and you've got these fastballs that look like they're coming right at your head. And you know, we as coaches, I'm sure Jolyne knows this, we don't really have any special pixie dust you can spread on that or any magic formula. Really, our job is to just sort of make those scary, big, incomprehensible problems look a little bit more manageable, and maybe get them to go toward where your strengths are rather than your weaknesses. So that's it's been a real pleasure to do that. I might add one other analogy, which is, you know, we were talking about the previous session, the resilience, you know, and that's another thing. You're standing up at the plate, you strike out a lot. And as entrepreneurs, you really, really, really have to have the resilience. And that's what we hope to do too, is let you know we've all failed a lot. We fail way more than we succeed. So don't be scared about that. And most of all, when you're standing up there, as any entrepreneur has had even a modicum of luck would say, you know, you really just have to stand up there and close your eyes and swing as hard as you can, because who knows, you know, sometimes you get lucky. So keep swinging, and thank you very much. It's really been a delight.
Thank you, Bill. Last but not least, our third Coaching Columbia honoree is Alan Patricof. With a 40-plus year career in venture capital, Alan is a titan of the venture capital field. Most recently, he founded Greycroft Partners, a venture capital firm with over $1 billion under management, to invest in leading early and expansion stage investments in digital media. Alan is a graduate of Columbia Business School, class of 1957. 1957, awesome. And sits on the Columbia Entrepreneurship Advisory Board. He's mentored countless Columbians on life, careers, politics, Barack Obama, and entrepreneurship. While he was unfortunately not able to join us today, he sat down with us earlier to share his thoughts on mentorship and what it takes to be a great entrepreneur.
I'm thrilled to have been invited and recognized in this mentoring award, and I take it as an honor. And I've enjoyed my affiliation with the business school for a very long time, and I hope to continue it going forward. And I'm very excited about the idea of bringing entrepreneurship to the entire university. I don't think people seek mentorship. I mean, I think that you meet someone along the way that comes into your life somehow, and you respect them and you think they have something to offer. And my experience is that someone will come along and there'll be a kinship or a relationship that develops organically. You meet people along the way who you admire, and it may not even be an official mentorship, but rather you consider them a mentor because of you want to emulate how they've run their life and how they've built their career. I would just say I think that as one builds their career, I would encourage everyone to build a multifaceted life and not be narrowly focused in anything too specific. Developing outside activities, philanthropy, cultural interests, travel, learning a language, and not to become too myopic and focused. And I would say I would encourage them to develop breadth in their life that makes for a fuller life.
Honorees today, Jolyne Caruso, Bill O'Farrell, and Alan Patricof, for all that they do for Columbia and for all that they do for all of us in this room. Let's have one more round of applause and we'll continue on with the program. Thank you.